Welcome everybody to episode 3 of HEAL Report. And I'm Nick Costello, the president of HEAL, Home to Enhance African Life. I'm with my colleague, Deacon Leo Okonkwo, the founder of HEAL and the Messengers of Justice Sisters. We apologize, we had some technical difficulties yesterday, so we hope everything works for this live stream broadcast, but we're new to this, so we're just learning, so please be patient with us as we do these week to week. Home to Enhance African Life, you can learn more about our website at this website here, www.healnigeria.org. You can learn about our mission. We have 2 schools in southeast Nigeria with 550 primary and secondary school students enrolled in our 2 schools. And you can learn about that at our website. And then this video, please like, share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the notification bell so that you will be notified when our future videos come out. Today, as you saw in our email notice about this live stream, we are going to talk first about this vaccination or this infectious disease bill in the Nigerian Assembly. And there's been this rumor associated with this infectious disease bill that's been floating around that Bill Gates possibly has bribed Nigerian Assembly members to the tune of $10 million to push this infectious disease control bill through the National Assembly without the normal protocols of review and debate. So that's a anti-democratic issue if there ever was one. But then there's also, whether that rumor is true or not, this infectious disease bill has some very controversial content within it, and we're going to talk about that first. And then later in our broadcast, which we're going to try to keep to about 30 minutes or 35 minutes, we'll talk about the Messengers of Justice Sisters who are going out and helping the people in the rural villages with food relief because the coronavirus lockdowns in Nigeria have stalled the economy, and many people are experiencing hunger and even starvation right now. So we're gonna talk about that in the latter half of this broadcast. Okay, so first, this infectious disease bill. We have this little headline here. Bill Gates offered $10 million bribe for forced vaccination in Nigeria. Now, this is an allegation. We're not saying this is true or not. But it says here, and then I'll get Deacon Leo's comment on this. And I hope everyone is seeing, this article in the live stream window. If not, we'll fix that technical difficulty, by our next broadcast next week. But it says here, I have highlighted, the opposition political parties rejected the foreign-sponsored bill mandating the compulsory vaccination of all Nigerians, even when the vaccines have not been discovered, and demanded the speaker be impeached if he focuses the bill on members. So Deacon Leo, I understand, there's this rumor floating around that there might have been a bribe, $10 million bribe by Bill Gates for this infectious disease bill. And then the House members in the National Assembly put this bill forth and is pushing it. And there's a group that is sounding the alarm on some of the contents of this bill, like we just read in this article. Can you comment on who is opposing this bill? Who is this this person, what's their organization, and talk about what their main objections are.
Ugo Chinyere is one of the leaders of the COP, the group coalition of political parties, and who, in confronting the idea of the bill for infectious disease that is put forth in the House of Assembly, reflects the absolute characteristics of Bill Gates' agenda. Now, what one would expect in any bill, especially that has to do with medical, or scientific human experimentation, is that it should pass through the normal process of first, second bill reading, because in the lawmaking that the House of Senate or House of Assembly in Nigeria follows is that of the Britain, which requires these 2-3 stages of reading of the bill. And of course, medical law requires also that except mentally incapacitated individuals whose consent may not be necessarily required, every other person, even competent child, which is what we call a Gillick child, still have the capacity, even when they are underage, so long as they have the capability to make decisions, to reason, they will be allowed to give their consent, and nobody else will give the consent for a competent child. That would be against the law. Now, consider the people in Nigeria, consider the people, the masses, the citizens, who vaccination that is going to be imposed or forced on them has not even been tested in America. So the issue then I take is not the Ugochinyele's allegation or the allegation of this particular article, but that this the content of the bill reflects the characters, the tablets of Bill Gates' agenda.
Yes.
And so one would then see the Bill Gates as the motivator, the animator of this uncertain pressure to persuade and to impose this particular bill on the people of Nigeria through the National Assembly.
Yes, it doesn't take too much imagination to conclude or to deduce from what we already know about Bill Gates' agenda that if he's not, actively bribing people or pushing people in the Nigerian Assembly, I'm sure he's definitely strongly in support of this bill because it matches with his agenda. And just to, I have this other article here which has some quotations from this bill that are generating the controversy. So down here I have highlighted the Director General. So now the Director General is of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. So this bill would give the Director General of the NCDC, Nigerian Center for Disease Control, powers to take these measures to combat infectious disease. So this is what's generating the controversy. So this first highlighted that I want to share here, it says the Director General may order any person to be detained and isolated in a hospital or other place for such period of time and subject to such conditions as the Director General may determine. So that sounds to me like forced quarantine measures, for somebody who maybe's tested positive for coronavirus or something. And then now the second highlighted sentence I have here, it says, the Director General may by order direct any person or class of persons not protected or vaccinated against the disease to undergo vaccinations. So that sounds to me like forced vaccinations. Okay, so do you want to touch on those points, Leo?
Yeah, still on the issue of the human rights and the individual person's liberty brought to question here. The denial of the person's right to consent, right to their, choice or self-autonomy, what they should take and what they should not take. Even in the law, it is clear that what is the best interest of the patient is always the motivator, the underlining criteria for any particular treatment, medical treatment being given to a person. Now, the best interest again depends on the capacity of the individual to make the choice when they are minimally conscious, in the state of minimal consciousness, or when they are actually conscious and also when they have the capacity. And when they don't have the capacity, then the parent of the child steps in, or the state of the family member steps in, or the court steps in. But here we have a situation where decisions is just being made, and elasticity, an umbrella of absolute discretionality is given to the Director General of the Center for Disease Control.
Yeah.
Then one wonders, where is the power of the individual autonomy of individual person's liberty and right to consent to medical treatment? Because it's also against the law that anybody should be forced.
Right.
Anybody, meaning reasonable, healthy, mentally settled person, should be forced to receive any medical treatment. In fact, it is said, if you are, you are free to choose to be treated or not to be treated.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, imagine here in the United States we have the National Institute of Health and the Center of Disease Control. Imagine those agencies being given the power to order people to be detained in their homes or force vaccinated. So those agencies they don't have that power. So this bill in Nigeria seems to be really going out of bounds, in that area. But now, with regard to the disease itself, of course, we don't want disease to spread. HEAL, Home to Enhance African Life, our history as a mission has been all about doing everything to help prevent infectious disease. And you, Deacon Leo, you started with this over 20 years ago. Providing clean water, and a lot of these infrastructure problems are one of the primary means by which infectious disease, is preventable infectious disease is curtailed and is stopped. So this here, I just want to show our viewers, is a well, a water reservoir connected to a clean water well. This is in Umuagu village, where one of our schools is located. This is one of the key ways in which infectious disease is combated. And so we have to wonder why there isn't the same amount of emergency to do more projects like this in Nigeria, as opposed to the vaccination issue. And we're not saying the vaccination issue isn't, we're not saying, we're not anti-vaccine, but as you were mentioning, Leo, there's, an issue with testing and, is it safe, and then, the freedom issue. But maybe talk a little bit about that comparison, there's the medications and there's vaccines which, which help, but then there's also this infrastructure and clean water. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, you are referring to other means or possibilities, dimensions, methods of treating or that can use to combat the infectious disease or any hygiene issue. And like you mentioned, 1997, the Water for Life Foundation was begun just to eradicate the use of pond water, which is collected flood in a pit where fungi that grows on it. And this is where we, myself, and my elder ones and younger ones and people all around the village who are very, very, very poor went to draw water. Our parents used the same water to cook for us, to bath us, to wash our clothes, and to for us to drink. We put alum inside it and drink it afterwards. So it was when I grew up that I decided to end the use of pond water in that community. That led to the beginning of what you saw, the reservoir and the Water for Life Foundation. So that's a way of taking this disease. And another way also is food, providing adequate food, because when man is malnutrited,
yes,
not with hygienic sufficient food to eat, it is possible to reduce the immune capacity, and so be easily vulnerable to disease. Disease. So, do we wait for the disease to come so that we vaccinate it, or do we vaccinate the body with the food before vaccination?
Right, exactly. I mean, there's more than one way to improve your immune system. I mean, vaccines are one way, and that's wonderful, okay? But there are many ways, and in a poor developing countries like Nigeria, where people don't have access, to the latest drug, that food, that nutrition is so important. The vitamins that are, in those foodstuffs help boost the human immune system. And look what's happening now across Africa. I mean, the food shortages because of these lockdowns in Nigeria, are causing starvation in many countries. Our assignment, your assignment, and my assignment is Nigeria, of course, the southeast region in particular. So there's this hunger virus that's spreading, and I wish there was as much alarm, among governments and first world countries about, the hunger virus and the detrimental impact on the immune system of hunger and lack of nutrition, as there is on, racing toward a vaccine, that we're going to impose on everybody. So that's a good segue into our next segment here about the messengers of justice, who are doing everything they can right now to provide food, relief to poor and marginalized people in different villages in and around where our two schools are located, Bumka and Memps. Those surrounding communities, the messengers of justice are trying to go out, and provide that food relief right now. And they're doing so through the spirituality of self-emptying. So the self-emptying of Christ, who emptied himself, took the form of a slave, and was obedient unto death on a cross. So that's the spirituality motivating the messengers of justice. And there's also a lay, we call it the lay MOJ movement. So these are lay people who want to live the spirituality of the messengers of justice religious community. And I want to show a photo to our viewers. This is myself with Deacon Leo in 2018 in Mbise Village. And I made a commitment to be a lay MOJ, as we call it, lay messenger of justice. So this means that you're dedicated to the self-emptying spirituality. And it is through self-emptying that we can go out and we can serve people like Christ. And right now, what is the service that is needed? It's it's food relief. So Deacon Leo, we have some couple video clips we want to show people about first some lay people, and you and the Messengers of Justice community, have brought lay people into the mission, just as you've brought me as a layman into the spirituality of the MOJs, of self-emptying. So before we show this video, just say a little bit, about the spirituality and what we're going to see in this next video, which we'll show.
Yes, I think you have really described that so well that I'll just add a little by saying the self-emptying and the selfless service is modeled in the life of Jesus Christ, who had all things, who is fullness of goodness and blessedness himself as God, but who left all that and emptied it in order to assume the human form and lift man in the dungeon. Man, the vulnerable man, the weak man, the hungry man, the sick man, in order to make him whole and healthy again. We, as messengers of justice, are called to empty our life, to empty our values, our goods, our strength, for the sake of our weak and weary brothers and sisters in the world. So in this time, where everybody is locked in, even the mission, the church is locked in the lockdown, the messengers of justice cannot be locked in. They are out in order to meet the need of the vulnerable, of the weak and weary brothers and sisters. So that is the attitude that only the messengers of justice can do. It is not just dropping food at people's door or handing out things for them, but going out on the front line like life-saving people and group. That's the mission of the religious community, and that's the mission, and that's the lifestyle of the lay messengers of justice.
Yes, and so we're going to show you now a video of two of our lay MOJ friends helping with food relief in their village. Okay, so we thank Dorothy and Vitas, for going out and providing that rice to people in their village, we should mention that the rice bags that are being distributed now by Vitas and Dorothy, and then by the Messengers of Justice, which we'll show you in the next clip. These are from Heal. These are from the generous donors of Heal. But this food, Leo, is normally, it's for the supply of the MOJs, and for the children, but now that the schools are closed, all of the day students are back home, but the boarding students are still in Umuagu village, so about 100 of them. But this food, this rice, and other foodstuffs that we're distributing, you made a decision that the messengers of justice should not just keep this for themselves during this period, but share it. So can you talk a little bit about that as we go into this next video clip showing the MOJ sisters?
Various parts of the country, various parts of the world in Africa are really languishing in this situation due to the lockdown of the COVID-19. Nigeria and Southeast and Imo State, where our mission is centered, is not immune from this situation. And in fact, the government is doing practically little or nothing. Last time at the first episode, we showed issues or insult in the name of aid or support relief for this hunger virus.
Yes.
So this considered was the cry of the messengers of justice to me, on how the people are suffering and how the people are feeling and dealing with this. A lot of people were going sick. A lot of people were really going under. And so our decision, my support of the decision of the messengers of justice, was that the entire food available for the community for the next 3 months, plus my own allowances here in the United Kingdom, should be returned to the service in order to reach out as a manner also of self-emptying.
Oh, yes.
Because Christ emptied himself. And so that was a symbolic way of emptying ourselves of what we have, so that our poor brothers and neighbors, sisters, may be saved from this situation. So this is a life-saving act, as it were. And that's what we really did, and that's what is happening right now.
Okay.
That's what you saw there.
Right. So now we're going to show a short clip of the MOJ sisters doing food relief.
Spiritual year, I had a diet 30 bags of rice for the seminary. This is to support them, especially during this difficult time. We ask them to use this to help themselves, the students there. And I wish to thank the priest in charge of JDPC Ahena Diocese, the bishop and the secretary, Father Jude Maka, for accepting this from the missionaries. Thank you. So, Father, I present this.
Thank you, sister. On behalf of the staff of our junior seminary, the students and staff, and on behalf of the staff and students of our spiritual year seminary, St. Mulumba Spiritual Year, I wish to thank you, thank your congregation, and to thank your founder for this gesture of generosity. And we all know what the whole world is facing now. The COVID-19 pandemic is really affecting humanity in so many ways, and actually affecting so many institutions. Over there, for example, in America, Spain, Italy, the challenges are more felt in terms of health deterioration and death. But here, our own problem mainly is on shortage of food. So your intervention is so urgent, and we appreciate it so much. A son of the church by name Ambrose of Milan said that nothing is as urgent as to give thanks. We are thanking you, thanking your congregation, and thanking your sisters and your founder. One thing we assure you is that we will always appreciate this. Through our masses, we will always remember you. In our prayers, we will always remember you and your congregation. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you, sisters. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we saw there the Messengers of Justice donating 30 bags of rice to St. Malumba Minor Seminary. And, we heard the Reverend Father's comments and his gratitude for this gesture by the MOJ sisters. And so we just want to impress upon people again, these are foodstuffs that, the MOJ sisters would normally be keeping for the sake of the mission and for the children. But now, since the schools are closed, but also because of the decision to share through self-emptying, the food is being shared. So the MOJ sisters are not eating as much as they would normally eat. So they're sacrificing, to help their neighbor during this critical time. And so we just want to emphasize the point now, that this isn't just something happening in our communities. This is something happening all over Africa, and we have this article here from the UN, which was written 10 days ago. Headline is Food Insecurity in West Africa could leave 43 million at risk as coronavirus hits. This first highlight, well over 40 million people across West Africa face desperate food shortages in coming months. And then my next highlight here is an estimated 12 million children under 5 years old could be acutely malnourished in the lean season from June to August. So Leo, June is upon us, and there's no sign of this hunger virus slowing down, especially with the lockdown still in place currently. So this is why we have to increase and scale up our efforts to provide this food relief, to continue to provide this food relief. HEAL right now has become almost like an emergency relief organization, at least temporarily, until things go back to normal, which we hope they will. So I want to share with people this plan that we have to scale up our efforts to provide food relief at this time. So we have this plan here. Our objective is to build a food bridge across Hunger Valley, as I'm calling it, using the metaphor of a valley to describe this, this period of food shortage and hunger that people are experiencing. So we want to provide food to as many people as we can to get them through to the end of the lockdown period, which is when they'll be able to go back out and start to provide for themselves again. So we'd like to, our plan is to feed 44,000 people over 30 days. And then the foodstuffs that we want to obtain are 1,200 bags of rice. That's 50 kilograms per bag. 200 bags of beans, 100 kilograms per bag, 10,000 cans of tomatoes, 220 grams per can. And then some other ingredients that with those foodstuffs, the people can make stew with those, okay? And then we're going to do this either by buying the food locally, which in that case we need to raise the funds for this quantity of foodstuffs, and then we can buy them locally, and then the MOJ sisters then can take that out and distribute it into the communities. The other way we can create this food bridge is through food that's donated from food distributor companies here who donate the food to HEAL, and then we can have the food shipped over in a container to Nigeria. So we're working on the logistics of that, and that would include obtaining a customs duty waiver from the government, from the finance minister in Nigeria, which would exempt us from paying the import duty fee on any foodstuffs we brought into the country, because we're not doing it as a business. This would be for charitable purposes, for food relief. So we're working to get that, to get those logistics set up. So before I talk about the budget on this, Leo, do you have any comments?
Feeding the needy.
Yes, and so just to give our viewers an idea of what we need on the fundraising end of this operation. If we were to finance this entire operation, to feed 4,000 people for 30 days with those foodstuff quantities that I mentioned, these are the gift quantities that we would need at these amounts. So if there are 20 of you out there watching right now who could give $50 a piece, if there are 10 of you out there now that could give $100, if there are 6 of you out there who could make a major gift of $1,000, if there are 4 of you out there who could make a larger major gift of $3,000, another 4 who could give $5,000, and then if there were 3 people who could make a very large gift of $10,000, if there were 2 of you who could make a gift each of $15,000, and then 1 person to make a very large gift of $30,000, we would completely finance this Operation Food Bridge, and we would feed people till the end of this lockdown. We're very confident, and this is going to save lives. So that's why this is so important. But I do have good news. One person who's very generous among our HEAL supporters has already pledged $30,000 towards this food relief campaign. So we're already, Leo, a quarter way to our goal. We just want to appeal to all of you out there in the spirit of the messengers of justice, in the spirit of self-emptying. We hope you're inspired, to help us, save lives during this hunger virus, to show solidarity with your fellow Catholics and Christians in Nigeria, who don't have the support, and the relief efforts that we have here in the United States. So if you'd like to make that gift at whatever level, you can go right here to healnigeria.org and make your gift online, or just contact me. If you'd like to send a check instead, and I'll give you that information how to do it. So Leo, that's our broadcast. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, just to tell our audience, the missionaries of the Compassionate Companions of the Poor, the Messengers of Justice, Water for Life and Heal, US and Nigerian, will always and is always praying for all of you. And we hope to grow the mission of self-emptying for the sake of our brothers and sisters in the Word of God, the Word of Christ, our world, so that the altruistic manner life of Jesus Christ may continue to take place, to incarnate in all of us, and then we can smile and we can be sure that the poor and the marginalized, the people most vulnerable, their rights and liberties are respected in our world, especially this time of COVID-19.
Yes, amen, amen. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, please like, share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you're notified about our upcoming videos. We do this every Saturday. We had technical difficulties, so we couldn't do it yesterday. But we'll be on again next Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you. God bless you.
Thank you.